Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome into another exciting, enthralling, captivating episode of GarageBand Weekly here on your one-stop shop for GarageBand goodness, and that is Studio Live today. My name is Pete, and if it's your first time around here, this show is all about GarageBand, about Apple, about creating music, about recording, and related things as well. So we do go off on tangents, and that's all kind of part of the fun. On today's show, we've got a few things to talk about. Apple have a new product on the horizon. What could it be? We'll speculate about that. TikTok's back in the App Store for now. And the Kennedy Center, we have many artists who will not be performing there and have severed ties for reasons we'll get into. We've also got some featured topics today. We'll be looking at your 8-bar challenges that we set you last week. We'll be answering some questions and answers, and we'll be looking at what exactly are GarageBand iOS's worst user interface features. I had an interesting comment from someone this week, and it sparked me to go, let's dive in and look at what are some of the perhaps less desirable things. As easy as GarageBand is to use, there's some stuff in there that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. If you do have questions, we've got answers, or at least we've got people here that can help answer your questions. We've got a wonderful gallery of great gurus when it comes to GarageBand, so you can go ahead and ask your question. I will just ask, put a big Q in front of it. That just tells me that you got a question, and we will endeavor to answer any of those questions as we go through the show. If I can't answer it straight away, I will tag it and come back to it at a later stage. If you're not here live, if you're on the replay, hello. Give us a shout. Let us know if you're on the replay crew. If you're here live, your name might be Thomas Christ, or perhaps it's Al Davis. Could be Mark Bro. It might even be Lux Sinkovic. I hope you are all doing well. And as you join the fun here, like Rocket Pneumonia, then you can just say, G'day. That's a very cool little profile picture there, Rocket Pneumonia. I like it. I dig it. I don't want pneumonia, but if I have to have pneumonia, I guess rockin's the way to go, yeah? If you enjoy the show, if you like what we do around here, thumbs up because the sun's up, and you can leave your comments down in the description. Down there, you'll also find links to things like the GarageBand FAQ, all of the stuff I know about GarageBand, all located in one place. You can also find the gear guide, the Patreon, and all the ways you can support me and the channel. All right, let's dive into it because we actually have semi-Apple related news-ish to talk about, which is that none other than Mr. Tim Cook sent out a Valentine's Day message miracle, and he said the following: get ready to meet the newest member of the family on Wednesday, February 19, hashtag Apple launch. So, the speculation started immediately as to what this will be. And if you're here live or if you're catching up on the replay, I'd love your guesses. What are you speculating that this could be? Now, the number one guess out there on the interwebs is that it's going to be the new iPhone SE 4. There hasn't been a new version of the iPhone SE for some time. I have as my secondary phone the iPhone SE 2. And it's a pretty decent phone. The 3 is quite good again, but these are the very old stylings. You got the chin and you got the button. The rumor is that the new SE4 that is supposedly going to drop will be improved, will be fairly similar to what you get on your standard iPhone 16, with maybe a few cut down variations, but unlike what I said last week, which is if it does come out, I don't think it'll support the new Apple Intelligence. Apparently, a lot of the rumor mill are saying, yes, it will, that Apple will not release any new products that do not support Apple Intelligence, which kind of makes sense because they're kind of going all in, aren't they? They're almost all in on the AI. And by AI, I mean their version of AI, which is Apple intelligence as opposed to artificial intelligence. So the other speculations, what else do people think that this could be? So new MacBook Air. The MacBook Air doesn't have the M4 in it yet. So could it be something as dull as just they've given us the MacBook Air with the M4? I don't know, but you never know. There's also other products that still need to have the M4 added, the Mac Pro, Mac Studios. But the new family member has got a lot of people thinking and speculating. And what a lot of people are thinking is new family member could mean new Siri. I mean, sorry, new Buggerlugs. So every time I use the S bomb, someone complains because their phone or tablet or computer starts doing things. So yeah, could it be that it's just the new assistant, the new digital assistant could be the new thing? Or could it be something completely left field that we don't even know about, that we haven't thought about? There's been rumors of like the tablet that's like the kitchen tablet that's like a cross between a Mac and an iPad that you use in your kitchen. Could it be, as someone's suggesting here, the new eye sunglasses? Is that a thing? Are they going to actually make some Meta Ray-Ban competitors? If they could, I'd appreciate it. And if they could team up with Oakley, because Oakley make the shades that transform a tool, which is why I wear Oakley. Um, sorry, Weezer reference for you folks there. So yeah, hopefully that there's something cool from it. But they did just recently shut down one of their glasses related projects. So is it the Vision Pro 2, the sequel to the thing that nobody asked for? Could it be something like that? We don't know, but it's always fun to speculate, isn't it? What do you folks think? Apple Intelligence, a few bugs, but no worms. But swiping, no swiping. G'day, the Mix Club, by the way. Hello to Ed B. Metal. We've got a bunch of other folks who have joined us here live. Ed Z, who we said g'day to. Tremor Bear. Synth Fidel. Love that name. Synth Fidel. Very cool. Yeah, the SE2 is an iPod. Mine is just, again, my secondary device because when I'm out walking around, if I have to, say, render a video or something on my 16, I've got my SE2 for just emails and comment answering and maybe, yeah, podcast listening and stuff like that. So that is good. Hello, Laurie's Mishmosh. Hello, Fat Panda Cat. I hope you are well. Who haven't I said hello to? If you're here, just say g'day. Just give us a shout. Hello to Eliza Trader. Hello there. Hope you're doing well. Danny Gable's here. It's a Danny Gable sighting in the wild. The VR thingy, I don't think that's had an update. I mean, it could be. Oh God, the new Doge AI. Is anyone else just sitting back and waiting and going, 3.5 years? The adults are coming back in 3.5 years. We've only got 3.5 years to wait. Oh man, the children. This is what happens when you put the kids in charge. They're like, pizza for breakfast. All right. Yes. I just removed your comment. Oh no. G'day, Bradley McKnight as well. And hello to Jade Star or Jade Star. That's what I call it now. No idea why. Let's talk about other things. So yeah, let me know. What do you reckon it's going to be? My money is on the iPhone just because it would be the most boring and predictable thing. iPhone SE4, but I wouldn't put it past them that it could be iOS 18.4 being released. But the thing is, we'd know about that if it had like updated Buggerlugs features because it would have to be in the beta, unless they were doing some super secret squirrel beta testing, or it could be the all new GarageBand version 3. Ooh, let's throw that out there. Let's put that thought into the universe, shall we? Maybe we're going to get a new GarageBand. Maybe? No? Apple Doge wipes your fundamental system and tells you to be happy about it. Yep. It goes through and it downloads all of your old GarageBand projects and sends them to all of your friends. Yeah, maybe that. All right, what else we got? TikTok's back. Wait, where did it go? Did it ever leave? Well, yeah. So Apple and Google both removed the TikTok app from their application stores, and now they put it back. So apparently they are going to wear the risk. They've been told that no, we have put a stay of execution, 75 days, for TikTok to find a US buyer, because as we know, security is great in the US right now. So yeah, that China wouldn't want to have any of your data stored over there, but you're 100% safe if your data is stored in the US. It's being looked after by the best in the business, the best 19-year-olds in the business. So, yeah, apparently, once TikTok get their buyer, I mean, who could it be? Larry Ellison, Elon Musk, oh, Jeff Bezos. Oh, it just doesn't get better, does it? Bill Gates. You know what? When Bill Gates is the good option, when you go, oh, if only Bill Gates could buy it, if only that out of touch billionaire could buy it, we'd be safe. Oh, Jesus. No good. No bueno. Hello, Andy. Andy Aspine is now Andy Winehouse. They tried to make him go to rehab, and he said, "No, no, no." That's why the name changed. What else? I just want to touch on this. And again, I was about to say we don't do politics around here, but you know what? Music and politics are unfortunately and eternally linked because music is an expression of freedom, of individuality, of diversity, of inclusion. And when people try to quash that or try to control that, it's bad. And musicians and artists speak out. And that's something along those lines happened this week. So the Kennedy Center, which, if you don't know, is a venue, a concert venue, an arts center in Washington, D.C., has for 50 plus years since it was first instated by JFK, hence why it's called the John F. Kennedy Center, has been a bipartisan, completely non political space for people to perform. A certain person who shall remain nameless because I can't say their name out loud or a little bit of vomit comes up, decided that they would remove the board, that they would fire a bunch of people, and that they would be the best person to decide what happens in the arts. Because, yeah, if that person knows anything, it's all about the arts. Yeah, their TV show was an absolute artistic masterpiece. So, yeah, this has obviously spurred quite a lot of debate and quite a lot of protest. So, you've got the likes of Shonda Rhimes, who was going to do a speaking event there and has pulled out. You've got Ben Folds, one of my personal heroes, who was the artistic director or artistic helper, can't remember his exact name, for the National Symphony Orchestra, who are based out of the Kennedy Center. He has resigned, and a bunch of performers have started to pull their shows in protest. There's also been big protests around Washington, especially from LGBTQ plus performers, because not surprisingly, things that were mentioned that would not be happening at the Kennedy Center in the future are things like drag shows, because as we all know, with everything going on in the world, the biggest problem is blokes putting on dresses and dancing around. That's absolutely the problem. Everything else but pales, wars, famine, pales into insignificance compared to when, guys dress as girls and girls dress as guys. So that's happening. That's a thing. And as you can tell, I'm super stoked about it. Yeah, and look, let the comparisons flow with dictators taking over things and state supported, funded, and approved art. It's the beginning of the end, folks. So this is why we need to continue to be strong and just do our thing. Yes, this show would probably not be allowed. This would be way too woke for the new Kennedy Center. They wouldn't allow Hamilton performances to be there. Anyway, I promise that we're going to push that all aside. We've done the news, we've done the notes now. We're going to get in and talk about music and talk about your garage banding and creations. I did see a question which was, I think, there's lots of chatter going on here, which is wonderful. It's just, it makes it hard to find things. Bradley McKnight says, if it was me, not including Apple Intelligence on this new phone would be bad business for Apple. Yeah, exactly. I think you're right. And I think the more I think about it, the more likely it is to definitely include Apple Intelligence features. I saw a question from Al Davis, and I'm just scrolling through your chat here. It would be good if I could search. I can search my chat. Oh, there it is. I found it anyway. Is there a way to turn down multiple faders at the same time in Cubasis on iOS? Multiple faders at the same time. That's a good question. I'm not sure that Cubasis supports multi-touch. Can you do that in... Now, I don't ask myself the question. Can you do that in GarageBand? I've never really played around with it. Can you hold two faders and move them at once? When I put two fingers on the screen, it does weird things. Let's bring up my screen and have a look here in GarageBand to start with. So if I just hold, say, the drum, I've only got two faders I can move here. Okay, yeah. So you can use two fingers and multi-touch. So if you wanted to drag to one way or the other, you could. Cubasis, I have not used in the longest time, but does Cubasis support the same sort of multi-touch gestures? This is a great question, which we will endeavour to answer. Oh, look, I've got to allow it to use it. Obviously, haven't used Cubasis in a while. Let's open my 1.21 and oh, and guess what? It's not coming out the right hole. So we've got to do what we usually do here. Ah, this is something that I really wish. Oh, good. It's not functioning because it's not plugged in. It's actually not Apple's fault. It's user error. This is John's fault because I don't have my audio interface plugged in. You get a little behind the scenes trip on this week's GarageBand Weekly. So we'll plug that in and the interface should pop up in just a jiffy. Let's see if it pops up live here. I have to turn it off and on. There it is. It's connected. Steinberg UR22C. Let's make sure we can play here. There we go. Now, I've got to remember how to use the old Cubasis. So, is what you're saying simply that you want to move two faders at once? Yep, you can. If I'm holding on the screen, I can move them both at once. And it's pretty good because Cubasis from memory has some pretty decent automation. So you'd be able to actually sort of ride the faders. I don't know how many you can touch at once. Let's find out. Let's touch six. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, look at that. That's pretty impressive, actually. Don't think I've ever done that before. So, short answer is yes, you can turn down multiple faders, and you can also use automation. So you can, if you don't want to have to physically turn down all the faders at once, you could use automation to turn the faders down by just setting them to do that. Who haven't I said hello to? We've got some other folks who have joined us in here. I don't think so. No, I'm sorry. I thought I saw a new name, but it wasn't. It was the Mix Club. Mix Club. Let's get into their feature topics, shall we? Because we had last week. I kicked off and. I was going to do this like we've done in the past, where it's like, all right, you got 1 week and you got to get your 8 bar challenge thing done, and then if you don't, you miss out. But what I thought we'd do instead is make it a bit of an ongoing thing for the next month or so. So if you didn't get a chance to do an 8 bar challenge, I'm going to re-explain it. And then we're going to play a couple of folks' 8 bar challenge. You're going to hear some real people's music here today. So if you missed last week's show, you would have missed Me Make This, which was my song called No Cowboys. And we recorded this in with 8 tracks across 8 bars. We've got drums, bass, 3 guitar tracks, and 3 vocal tracks. And the song itself sounds a little something like this. Cowboys don't come round these parts of town anymore. Factory farming went and took all their jobs, that's for sure. That's for sure. So that's what we created, and we did it all in the space of about 40 minutes here in GarageBand. And what is the purpose of this? Why 8 bars? Well, this all came about because personally, I was having this problem, and then I talked to other people and they were having the same problem, which is that you can get overwhelmed and you can get daunted by having to create a whole song. And what a lot of folks, including myself, do is because we're like, oh, I don't have the time, energy, motivation, commitment to record an entire song, we record nothing. So I decided that a few years ago, instead of nothing, we would do this, which is I would challenge folks, especially folks like me and maybe some of you who don't put out a whole lot of music, to just do 8 bars. And look, it could be 8 bars that you never use again. Or what happens a lot of the time, we've seen this happen in the past, is those 8 bars go on to become a full song because people go, oh, it wasn't that hard. And now I've got something I can just build around and grow upon. So that's the whole purpose of doing this. Again, it's around the whole motivating people to get more music created as opposed to just wishing we could create more music. Bonjour, Lila, and salut, Hugh Caldwell. Hope you are well. Let us go and check out because I went and looked. I knew that one of our users, Mr. Mark Bro, had completed one, but there's actually more in here. I didn't realize until I looked this morning that we've got about 4 or 5 different creators who have all done an 8 bar challenge. So let's go over to slaps.com here. If you're not aware, this is slaps.com. You can sign up to slaps.com for free. You can do so right now. If you just go to slaps.com, if you're a DistroKid user, you can use your DistroKid account. If you're not a DistroKid member, why not join? $22.99 per year. You can save 7% off using the link in the description, and you can release all your music to Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, Tidal, Deezer, all the rest. But if you're not interested in that, or you're not ready to join that, join this for free. Exactly what Thomas Christ is saying here. Sign up to slaps.com, get yourself an account here, and start sharing some music. Or before you start sharing music, join some of these groups. So the first thing you want to do is hit the groups button here, and you'll get a bunch of different groups. You can see I've got all my groups there. But if you, in this group section, type in 8 bar challenge, you will find that we have our very own group with 54 members called 8 bar challenge. So we can jump into this group once you've signed up, and here you will see that we have songs by people, real live people. So there's my No Cowboys with my the epic artwork that we created last week for it, which was a lot of fun. And if we play it here on the slaps.com, Cowboys don't come round these parts of town anymore. And we don't have to play more of that because you've already heard it. And there you go. Rocket Ammonia's in Jams. I watched you create this and couldn't resist the challenge. 8 bar, last one. So let's go. So if we go backwards, there's Goat Trauma from a year ago. But we have some new entries, including this one, which was from Jeremy Deshaw, which is good to see. Jeremy's a newer member of our community, and I think he's only just started up on slaps.com. So this is the fun part. We get to just jam out and listen to what folks have created. I've not listened to any of these, so this is going to be fun for me too. That is super funky, Jeremy. That is awesome. All right. So you can see there here in Slaps, I can throw fire on these tracks, which I did. We can save it in here, and sharing is super, super simple if you want to bring people into your Slaps. Let's give this one another spin because that was just too funky. This is the cool thing about 8 bar challenges. We can play them multiple times. And I love this. This has got like a real Primus kind of feel. Any Primus fans out there? There you go. And it does. It makes you want to feel more, doesn't it? It makes you want to hear more. Oh, no more Cowboys. That is awesome. So yeah, if we can leave some comments here. Jeremy, this both literally and figuratively. You see where I'm going here? Figuratively. Oh, I can't spell. Figuratively slaps. How is that not how you spell figuratively? How do I spell using how to spell check? Oh, I don't have spell check turned on. Look up figuratively. No. Figurative. I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to leave it unspelt correctly, and we'll see if anyone picks it up. So that was funky, fresh, fretless fun. Hands up who's ever tried to play a fretless bass. Hands up who's played a fretless bass once and never tried again. Yeah, also me. Also me. Figuratively. Isn't that how I spelled it? Didn't I put figuratively? Why did it not like that? Figuratively. Figuratively. Yeah, figuratively. Figuratively. Fug. I put fug. Figuratively. How can I not see that? Anyway, we're going to move on. Figurative. I had a U, don't I? See, it's all about me. It's not about you. No, hang on, other way around. See, I'm all about you. I'm not about I. Anyway, let's play. Let's play Mark Bro's tune here. I see camels, dromedaries. So let's see what Mark's got on this one. Ooh, yeah. This is excellent. Yeah. See, here's the problem. I want to hear where this goes now. I want to hear more of this because that's really cool, Mark. I love that. Starting on that minor. The picture suits it very, very well. Fuck yeah. Figuratively, I was speaking New Zealand. Figuratively speaking. Oh, this is cool. This is, yeah, super cinematic. Mark. Joey is spot on. Love it. Very cool stuff. And Mark's a pro, so you can see here, he's actually even got a link to his YouTube where he shows the projects. How cool is that? And yes, you absolutely should extend it. Weirdly, not weirdly, but I'm hearing like a almost operatic vocal, like oh, something like that. I don't think we do we have many sort of opera style female vocalists in the community? There's got to be some out there. But yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I'm following Mark. We've also got Mark Sunderham, who for some reason I'm not following. We'll rectify that. 1 over the 8. I like what you did there. I recorded this a few years ago for the 8-bar challenge, but finished it way too late, so I never really did anything with it. So this time I've polished it off with a new remix and remaster, now that I have a better idea what I'm doing. 8 bars and only 8 tracks. The title is a reference to an old slang term for getting too drunk by having one more than you intended. I like it. It sounded like this. Yes. Woo, right? This is cool. Mark, now you're rocking pneumonia, I believe. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Mark Sunderham and rocking pneumonia are one and the same. Let's take a listen to this one.
Well, I tried to count 1, 2, 3, and 4, but I found myself wanting more and more, and I thought I could stop at 1 over the 8, but in the end it was just too late.
That is cool. At the risk of sounding like a Teletubby, again. No. Sorry, Jeremy, you were awesome, but we've heard you.
Well, I tried to count 1, 2, 3, and 4, but I found myself wanting more and more, and I thought I could stop at 1 over the 8, but in the end it was just too late.
Hey, cha-cha-cha. That's so cool. I love it. So yes, we'll leave a comment here. Yeah, good job getting back to this one. Really, really cool. Not ghoul or gull. Really, really cool. All right. We have just one more here, which is Joey Cyclone, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I like it. I love the creativity that comes into it, like when you're naming your songs and stuff, doing this sort of thing. Makes it really, really interesting. Let's give Joey's tune a listen. Posted just 3 hours ago. Let's take a listen.
Some only use 1-654. This one is different, let's hear them all once more. All of them major, of that you can be sure. A, B, C, D, E, F, G are all my favorite chords.
That's rocking. I like it. A B C D E F G are all my favorite chords. I like it. Let's have another listen. That was gold.
Some only use 1-654. This one is different, let's hear them all once more. All of them major, of that you can be sure. A, B, C, D, E, F, G are all my favorite chords.
That's so freaking cool, Joey. Using all 7 major chords twice in 8 bars. That's taking it to the next level. It's the 8 bar, 8 chord, 8 track challenge. That is super clever. I'm going to put a comment here. Super duper clever. And clever? I really can't type today. And cool, Joey. That was awesome. See, how much fun is that? Yeah, and she's in the middle of February album writing month. There you go. And one of the song prompt challenges to use all natural major chords. That's bloody hard work. I couldn't do that. Yeah, how fun is it? It's very, very cool. And yeah, like it's clear that you folks are not only super talented, but yeah, super funny as well. Very cool stuff. Yeah, like to get all of that done, all in just one little chunk, is super awesome. Well done. Can we get a round of applause, please, for everyone's contributions there? And once again, if you want to jump in, get yourself on over. In fact, I can link. I'll throw this link right here in the chat. You can check out the group directly on slaps.com, slaps.com /group/8-bar challenge if you're already a member, or join up. Honestly, even if you're not going to, I was going to say compete. No competition. Even if you're not going to contribute, then go ahead and join slaps.com and listen to some cool music. Because honestly, like it's my music discovery platform, 100%. So if you're wondering how I find amazing, unique, different artists from all around the world, yeah, a lot of them actually come from just jumping in here, hit the new button, and just scrolling on down and see who's Holly R. Jeb. I got no idea. I play their song and I'm like, sounds good actually. The lyrical storyline of their song revolves around the end of a tumultuous and troubled romantic relationship. Steamroller through forest. I like it. There you go. I'll come back to that later and have a listen. Got some interesting ones here. Deli Dolly Ol. I like it. We've got Larry Grooves there. Excuse me. The only problem that we have is that there has been quite an uptick, shall we say, in AI. So you do have to get through a little bit of AI music, which is a bit of a pain in the butt. And a lot of people put AI music here and don't tell you it's AI, which is less than ideal. So there you have it. Exactly. Slaps is fun. Been using DistroKid for a while. It's my first time on Slaps. Excellent stuff. Yeah, it's just great for sharing like demos or songs that you're nearly done with, just to get a bit of feedback, or maybe something that you're not going to release as a full version. You can throw it up on Slaps and let people have a listen to it there. We are supported not only by you fine folks and by the Patreon and by the memberships and by your donations, but also through advertising. So we're going to run an ad for you right now. The ad button has been clicked. You may be seeing an ad right now, so we will just add a little filler time here and say g'day to Paws and Guitars as well. Fat Panda Cat says, I noticed the AI last time I was in Slaps, unfortunately. I love Slaps, but the menus and searches could be better. Yeah, and look, I'll admit that. I agree that finding things in Slaps can be a little bit of a challenge. Its simplicity is both its biggest strength and also its kind of biggest weakness as well, because the interface is pretty basic, which I love when you compare it to something like SoundCloud, whose interface is just all over the place. But yeah, it can be a little bit challenging to find things at time. But good fun to dig around in there. Yes, hello, pause and guitars. If you've got any questions, please go ahead and ask here in the chat. It will probably be a quicker show, in all honesty, here today, because again, our topic was really just to revisit those 8-bar challenges. And you know what? I don't want to keep you here any longer than I have to. But there's one final thing I wanted to talk about, and that is the GarageBand's interface. So I got a comment from a user, and I have lost the comment, so I don't actually remember their name. But what they were talking about, what they were commenting on, is the fact that to import audio into GarageBand, iOS is so non-intuitive, and it got me thinking about what are the other things, the user interface things that I would change if I'm put in charge of GarageBand product development tomorrow? What are the first things that I change that don't make sense? And I thought I'd go through a few of these with you folks right now. So the number one thing, yeah, I kind of agree with, is that the problem with GarageBand over time is that it's kind of been put together like a spaghetti code. If you've ever done any coding, you'll know that spaghetti code is where you have a working product and then you just add to it. You just pile it on like meatballs and cheese and more sauce and I don't know, what else do you put on spaghetti? Chili flakes. But the problem is sometimes you add chili flakes and it reacts with the tomato sauce and makes it taste terrible. The software version of that is you do something that causes problems. So if you ever wonder why, when there's a new release of software, the .1 release, then the .11 release that comes out the next week is mostly to fix the things that the .1 release broke, because you're building upon building upon building upon. And I say all that to say that the reason that your importing of audio files is up here is that this used to just be Apple Loops. So before you could actually import your audio files back in GarageBand for iOS 1, this was just Apple Loops. So having a loop icon up there made perfect sense, because you'd come in here, you go to your Apple Loops, you'd preview them, and then you'd pull them over and drop them into your project. They had to add the files. Remember, we didn't actually have files at all. We had no files app until iOS 11. iOS 10 and earlier, there were no files. You couldn't actually save your files or view your files or access your files in iOS or iPadOS. So when we finally could, we had this file import section. And the music import, has anyone ever used that? I'm assuming it's your Apple Music. Do I have? Yeah, I've got Apple Music in here. I've got my own music. I must have bought my own song. Can you actually import your music? No, cannot be imported. So this is what I thought. It's like, no, none of the music that's stored in there. So I think from memory, that's a throwback to the fact that you used to be able to sync up your iTunes library for those that are old and grey like me. And if you synced a non-copy protected, non-Apple Music, non-iTunes purchased MP3, which is a long thing to draw, then you could actually pull this in. In fact, I'm sure you could, because I used to have playlists. Yeah, look, AA 2018. It's got no songs in there anymore because I've deleted all the songs. But that was my Adelaide Adrenaline 2018 playlist that I used to use, and I used to have all the files in there, and then I had like a launcher app. Cannot even remember. I did videos on it at the time. I'd have to go back and see what apps I used, but you can, yeah, you used to be able to import your audio that way. Number two of the stupid UI decisions that we have here is this button. Why? Who thought that add more space? Like, it's not here in your settings where you can, change your tempo, your time signature, your key signature. It's not like up here in any of your menu options. It's over here. It's like plus. And then you've got to add a section or increase the number of bars here. The amount of people that I spoke to early on in my in their GarageBand career, and the first question that they had was, Why can't GarageBand's okay if you just want to do 8 bars, but how do you do more than that? A lot of people didn't realize. I spoke to Liz Shaw, who's a very cool producer, YouTuber, musician, and I was on his podcast, and he said, "Oh, when I first opened GarageBand, I thought, oh, this is great for sketching down little 8 bar ideas, but it's a shame you can't do a whole song." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, you can do a whole song. They just hide the place where you press it to do it." Number three that I think is kind of stupid is the fact that we have two different sets of options. So if you come here to your settings and your advanced, this is good stuff. You've got running background, you've got your 24-bit resolution, which everyone should be turning on, and you've got your multi-track recording. But you're probably sitting here going, where's my keyboard note labels? Where's my MIDI settings and options? Not in here. No. Where do you go then? Where do you go for them? You go out to your settings app. You got to come out here. You got to go into settings. You got to scroll down. You got to go to apps. You got to scroll down. You got to find GarageBand. You got to open GarageBand, and they're all here. And look, I know this isn't just a GarageBand thing; it's an Apple thing overall. But why? It's like when you're trying to set up a mouse. Like if you've ever tried to install a Bluetooth mouse on an iPad, there's about three different setting spots. You've got to go into the Bluetooth settings, and then you've got to go into the mouse settings, and then you've got to go into the accessibility and pointer settings, all just to get this going on. And look, is it great for people like me who do tutorials on Apple stuff? Yeah, kinda. Someone said that to me the other day. They were like, "Oh yeah, if GarageBand wasn't complex and didn't have these crazy UI things, you probably wouldn't have a job." And I said, "Fair play. That's actually kind of true." Next thing that's kind of stupid: the only way to save is to close. So yeah, you have to close. There's no way to stay in your project and save your project. You have to close out. So save button. Why not a save button? Just plonk it there. Everything would be fine. And I'm going to close with this one. No ability to turn off auto normalization. I know it's not really a UI thing, but how difficult? Considering that we only have this many options here in the advanced settings, why can't one of them be auto normalization? See, it gets me so riled up, I start sneezing. Yeah. So, yeah, why not have the ability to turn off auto normalization? And again, I think it comes back to that spaghetti code thing. I think it would have been easy for them to have that as an option in version 1, but I think that they're probably worried that if they add that, if they change a bunch of stuff and add in a new feature, now that it will break other things. Or it would, I think this is the thing, Apple are great at holding your hand and saying, "You gotta do it this way." It's why they had mices with one button for the longest time. They went, "Nah, we reckon one button's enough." And people were like, "But I like to use a second button." And they're like, "One button is enough." It's a bit like you're holding it wrong. But when I try to make phone calls, they drop out. It's like, "Nah, you're holding it wrong. You're covering the antenna with your hand." Like, what? Steve, this place where my hand goes, and are you assuming that everyone has the exact same hand? What if you've lost fingers? You've got to hold it that way. Hey, Steve. Sorry, I'm hassling a poor man that's not been with us for a decade, but you get my gist, right? So yeah, just a few things that I thought were interesting, and I thought, yeah, let's just talk about those and have a wee rant here on GarageBand Weekly because yeah, this user was like. They said, "Thanks for the video, but I shouldn't have had to come and find your video to learn how to import an audio file because it should have been right there. There should have been a separate button." And again, the other thing to remember is when GarageBand was first designed, it was designed to work on a screen this size. So if you think, well, there could be a whole bunch more buttons and options and things because we're all on 10, 11, 13-inch iPad screens. Well, yeah, except that my first GarageBand experience was on a 4-inch screen on my iPhone 4S. So go figure. All righty, we are going to wrap things, but if you have any questions, you can MIDI learn exactly. MIDI learn would be great too. Hey, we don't even have MIDI learn in Logic Pro, so I think it's going to be a while before we get it. Yeah. Hello, Clayton Von Kluge, by the way. Hello, 13 Scribble. Speaking of amazing artists, we weren't, but Scribbles does some amazing art. He's a talented human. Just so you know, go check out Scribbles. Great music and great artwork as well. Hello, Crow, on a wire as well. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, look, if you want to hit the thumbs up button, you feel free to. There's lots of folks here, and it's pretty free and simple. Oh wait, doot, 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 doot. I'll give you the Jeopardy music while you hit the thumbs up button. do 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 do. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, Liz sure does have a great show. I cold called him when I was drunk and talked shop. Yeah, so he has. He's been on the show here a couple. In fact, I usually have him on the show around springtime. We didn't do it this year, but yeah, I'll have to get him on because we did. He's really good. Got a lot of great experience, and we did a big Q&A thing. I think I'm not sure if our mate Mike caught up with Lidge over at NAM, the National Association of Music Making Dudes, and a few dudettes. Let's be honest, mostly dudes. Cool. I want to do a mixed video with TC. Oh, that would be cool. You should remix. Thomas Christ would be open to that. Remix one of Thomas's songs, Scribbles. I'm sure he will. He will be there. Pushing the gain up of the FX has been such a game changer. Learn a lot. Oh, thank you, Joe. Yeah, if you're not familiar what Joe's talking about here, a little tip for you, little tip for young players is that if you don't have enough volume or if you have too much volume, you probably notice that there's no overall volume knob here in GarageBand iOS. And many of you know this trick already, but if you just hit the FX, hit record for a sec, record in a bit of nothing, hit stop, turn your FX off. Whoop, no, that didn't work, did it? We need to record in so we get the FX track. Oh, we need to do something. Cowboys don't come. All right, so just add a little bit of FX, but then you can delete it. And then you've actually got this FX track, which affects the whole project. And guess what you can do? You can jump in here and you can turn on this visual EQ, which has a gain dial. So yeah, so if you've got a project that's not loud enough, you can just do this. Cowboys don't come round these parts of town anymore. Or you can turn it down as well. And this is a great tip. A lot of people, because GarageBand, when you record, you'll see how low my levels are here. If you leave all of these at Unity level, your overall GarageBand project is going to be way too loud. And an easy and quick way to turn everything down is to add that FX track and turn it down there. So I'm glad that helped you out, Joe, and helped you create more good things. There we go. We'll see if we've got any final questions before I let you go. Hello, the Lily Pillies. Hey, it's Manny from the Lily Pillies. I'm assuming it's Manny. One day it's going to be like, no, this isn't Manny. This is one of the other Lily Pillies. It's pretty much always Manny. Yes, Lid Shaw, a smart fella. Hey, it's Costa too, listening in the car, taking rubbish to the tip. The tip, getting some tips while taking rubbish to the tip. There you go. By the way, the tip we call, what do you call it? A tip? What do you call it? The place where all your landfill goes. Yeah, really, really great for the environment, these places. We call it the tip or the dump. Yep. People in Australia, they load up the trailer, son. I'm going to the dump. And it was always cool. You'd go to the dump and you'd be able to sort of walk around and find hidden treasures. What one person's trash is another person's treasure. Need some water. Yeah, so what do you call that in other parts of the world? Logic is cool. It does have a steep learning curve. You're right. Finishing album number 3, still using GarageBand. And look, that's the thing. I know we've talked about this ad nauseum, but use what works for you. It's just ones and zeros, folks. At the end of the day, it's what you plug into it and what you play. It's not what you recorded on. The device you recorded on and the platform you recorded in is kind of the least important thing. And yeah, people argue with that, argue with me about that, but I just can't get behind the whole you must use thing. Yes, taking stuff to the dump, taking a dump. Is a dump in Texas? Yeah. Chug dump is a dump. Okay, cool. I didn't know if that was just an Australianism or a real thing. What we used to do in Australia, did you used to do this in other countries, is you had your incinerator. Australian incinerators were exactly what they sound like. They were like a brick. Think of like a brick sort of barbecue pit kind of thing, but usually upright standing. And you literally just threw all your rubbish in and set it on fire. And that was a thing that we did in the 70s and 80s. So yeah, you've come a long way. Like, there was no separating out. That was everything. It's like, oh, it smells a bit weird. Oh yeah, next door are burning their rubbish, like everything, plastic, throw it in. Yeah, all the landfill. Old bike there. I wonder what that'll look like after it's been burnt. Yeah, not great. Uh, full of knowledge and other things as well. Exactly, the ease of for GarageBand, just getting stuff down. Exactly. I think even when even though I use Logic Pro a lot these days, there's nothing quite like just loading up GarageBand and just pressing that button, just pressing guitar, nice room, and playing in a chord progression, and it's just there instantly, like with ease. It's great. Had an incinerator at school. Yeah, it was. I saw there's an old couple that live across the road. I'm almost positive that they were burning rubbish the other day. Like there was smoke coming out of their backyard, and I'm like, oh, the house is on fire, and I'm like, no, pretty sure they're burning rubbish. I'm pretty sure they think it's still the 80s. All right, we are going to finish up early here, folks, because I don't need to keep you any longer. But just a quick reminder of what's going on around here. If you would like to support me in any way, there's a few ways you can do that. You can hit the thumbs up button that's just down below this video. I know YouTubers are always banging on about telling you to press the thumbs up button. It does really help though, because what it says is that you actually liked what you saw here, you're engaged with the content, and then it will feed this content out to other humans. So it's humans helping humans. We're just doing it via a robot. You can also, as Thomas says here, you can donate to the channel. You can check out the Patreon. You can check out the membership to the site. There's a bunch of stuff you can do, and you can follow me on all the different various platforms down below. Don't forget the Community Pulse show is coming up in just over an hour's time. That's Frank Terzo, and in fact, let's have a quick look in here at what Frank's got on, because it is the 50th Community Pulse show with Frank Terzo here today. Last week was 49, so that means this week is 50. And Frank has on the show Kid K Music with Kelvin Manners, Lenny Camo, and Linda Jean. So lots of cool folks from around the independent music creation community for you to check in with. That is going to do it for this one, folks. I hope you have a great week ahead. I'll be back again next week with the podcast, with Your Music Live, with the happy hour, and of course with GarageBand Weekly. If you do an 8-bar challenge through the week, make sure that you throw it up on Slaps, and make sure it's in that 8-bar challenge group as well. Folks, be kind to yourselves this week. Be kind to others. Keep creating, and I'll see you next time right here on GarageBand Weekly. Bye for now.